Cheers. Happy New Year's. This is a video I wanted to do way back last January when I started making these videos. I put a poll on my Instagram asking if you guys would rather see a video called What's in My Pocket and What's in My Camera Bag. And I didn't really get to either of them. I made like a little segment with my friends about like what's in their pockets and stuff. Didn't go very far. I never circled back around to what's in my camera bag, and it's something that's I find kind of interesting because it's something that changes every year. I'm kind of neat and kind of a mess at the same time, so my camera bag just never looks the same. That being said, this is my camera bag. It is huge. First off, this is a K&F concept bag. I think I got this back. Anyway, I had it in college. Perfect for, you know what, it was 2018 because it was just around COVID. This bag was perfect for me. It's too heavy, I can't carry it right now. I've had this bag for 6 years. It's gone to weddings, it went to Washington with me, it went to Florida, it went to New York multiple times. It has held up. There is a bunch of tear, there's a bunch of wear to this bag now. It's gone through a lot. I think it's time that I get a new bag. I think 2024 is the year that Marley kind of upgrades his photography a bit. I want to go through the bag and kind of just show you what I would carry if I was going to a wedding or just a photo session or, you know, street photography, just something that I would carry normally. This is my normal carry bag. So let's get into it. If you look at the camera bag, the back is actually where you're going to access all of the photography stuff. You'll see that I have lenses labeled so that I can quickly pick which lens I need without having to pick it up, guess which one it is, take it off, attach it to my camera, be like, no, that doesn't work. They're also labeled based on the camera that I use. So if I'm shooting with my Canon, I know that this is a Canon and it's an 18 by 2055. If I'm shooting with my Sony, I know that this is a Sony E-mount 55 to 210. Text message. I love that. I do shoot with two cameras. I shoot with my Canon T5i and my Sony a6000. My first ever camera that I shot professionally with, this fella right here. I'm a big Sony fan, so my first camera was the Sony a100. The reason why I shot with the Sony a100 is because it was featured in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, one of my favorite films, and Andrew Garfield is seen using the Sony a100 with the 35 to 80 millimeter gray film lens. I even have the strap that he used for it too. But this is the camera I started off with. This was my first ever professional camera, I will say. I then upgraded to the Sony a6000. This tiny little fella does a lot, especially for its size. This thing has been quite faithful. It is a crop sensor E-mount lens camera. It's great for being portable. I can tuck this in my pocket, no issues there. I can take it out, you know, super small. I actually snuck this into the Hollywood Vampires concert that you saw in the previous video. I got these awesome photos from this trip with this camera because it's how small it is. I was able to just sneak it through security, and that was that. This camera is like kind of like my go-to, but as of 2023, I tried to be a little bit more experimental, and I tried to shoot with Canon. This is an older Canon. This is the Canon T5i. It is still a crop sensor camera. It's not a full frame, but this thing looks a lot more impressive than my Sony. The screen flips out, and I can see everything I'm doing if I'm vlogging or if I'm taking a self-portrait. It's just a lot easier to, you know, see what I'm doing if something is flipped and, you know, whatnot. The Sony a6000 does not do that. The LCD screen on the back does pivot, but it pivots only up and kind of down. Sony was late on the flipping of screens, and it's just I never found myself often flipping the screen for really any reason at all. I always kind of just shot through the viewfinder. The second reason why I switched over to a Canon is because just professionally, shooting weddings, I would show up to a venue and I would be ready to shoot, and if I showed up on site with my Sony a6000, I've had people kind of question me why they hired me. And so I'm a big advocate for, it's not about the gear you use, but it's about the art that you produce, or just the photographs that you produce. But there is kind of an extent to it. I've gotten a lot more bookings ever since I've shot with the Canon than I have with the Sony. Even though this Sony is newer than the Canon, this one has sharper images and faster autofocus, whereas this one has the flip out screen and just looks bigger and is kind of more professional looking. My two main issues with the Canon T5i is the autofocusing is very loud and just not always pin perfect. And when I go into Lightroom, how do I say this? The colors just aren't the same as editing a Sony photo. So yeah. When it comes to the Sony, I have 4 lenses. I shoot with a 18x55, which is the kit lens, a 55x210, a 35mm prime lens, and a 50mm prime lens. Difference between a prime lens and a zoom lens is obviously a zoom lens can change focal lengths. The prime lens stays at 50mm. The prime lenses are valued a bit more just because it tends to be a nicer glass and you get just a nicer aperture. And then as for my Canon, I only have 3 lenses. I have a 80x200, a 18x55, and a 70-300. None of these are prime lenses. That's probably why I don't have the best image quality when it comes to shooting Canon, but I have a lot more accessories with the Canon as well, so I have to kind of choose my battles. And as you can see, this is all pretty jam-packed. This camera bag is quite heavy. Carrying it through the airport to Washington was quite a hassle. You'll see here that I have these magnetic clamps. They just come undone, you flip, and then there's this kind of drawstring tab you just pull, and you can then open and access the bag. Inside the top, I will usually carry all my lighting equipment, all the big stuff, if you will. I have a nice Viltrox VL16210 light. It gets quite bright, and I have the battery for it in there as well. I usually just will plug this in, and it's just a nice little bright light to help with video and photography. 25% I think is the lowest I can go. Let's see. Okay, so 20% is the lowest I can go, and it is quite still very bright. It did come with gel filters. I have no idea where they are. I also have 2 newer NW580 flashes. These are nice little speed lights that connect wirelessly to my camera. They are powered by just simple. They are powered just by a simple AA battery. You just flip the switch on, and you get all the settings and stuff, the different channels that you can hook up to. So this is great, a great tool to have. I ended up buying just one of these at first because I found very quickly during weddings, weddings get dark, especially when you're at the reception and people are dancing in this dark, DJ dark mosh pit. This thing, if you do not have a flash, get a flash. They are quite handy in a little small pouch, extra AA battery. I also have a little hot shoe mount for the flash. That way, if I need to, I can mount this to a tripod, or I can just let it also just sit on the floor, but it just attaches to the bottom there very nicely, and it allows me to attach that to a tripod. So that was very handy to have there. I also have a small little 35mm point and shoot camera. It's just nice to have, you know. It's great to pass around. So if you're ever at a wedding and you're just like, hey, do me a favor, you take this, you guys take some pictures. Then you have, you know, a nice little film camera to shoot with, and they're better than the disposables. This one has a lens that does autofocus. The flash is a lot brighter. I just find it a lot better than a disposable film camera. So I have one of these in there as well. I have, of course, a laptop. I have my MacBook Air. It's a 2020 edition. This got me through college. It's got all the programs I need, like Lightroom, Premiere, Photoshop, stuff like that. Inside the laptop sleeve as well, I also have these nifty little things, 3 different sizes, and all they do is they just open up, and this kind of just diffuses the light, makes it a lot softer. It just makes it a lot easier to look at and not blind my subject. On the back, there is a zipper little pull, and you just pull that zipper out, and inside here is just some small things. I usually carry my notebook in there, or this little Polaroid printer. Say I'm shooting a wedding and I want to gift them with a small little picture just for now, until I can get them their actual picture. It just kind of like holds them over, if that makes sense. I also have an extra pack of film in there as well. Again, just a little magnetic clip that opens up, and then a little zipper, nice and secure. Some spare SD cards, a little dongle, just something, you know, a little adapter so I can put an SD card and USB slots into my MacBook. I then carry my hard drive. If you know me, I always carry a Sharpie. It's just something that stick in my pocket. It's always there. Yes, I have one in my camera bag as well. I also carry a little air tag in my camera bag, just so if for whatever reason I can't find my camera bag, it's right there. I can track it. Every time I leave the house, I get a little notification that Marley's camera bag was left behind. Annoying, but at least I know it's at home. SD cards, lots and lots of SD cards, and again, another dongle for the app. Another SD card. Another SD card. That's it. The only thing I didn't show you was on the right side of the bag, there is a little pouch, either for a water bottle, or I put my tripod in there. There is a little clip that goes on the side there as well that holds that in place. And then additionally on the other side of the camera bag, there is another zipper that just leads to a side pouch so you can retrieve your camera faster. I typically don't use this side just because if I'm gonna grab everything on the strap here, there is this little newer clip here, and how that works is it's the same mount as my tripod. So I have a little square mount on the bottom of my camera that just clicks in place there, and then I can leave my camera hanging on my shoulders while I shoot. It makes just, you know, doing street photography a lot quicker, and it's just hitting a button and sliding. Nice, quick, secure, it's not gonna come off. I can take my camera and just slide it onto my chest, and it just sits there. I can kind of, you know, walk around, have my hands free for whatever I need to, and then just take it off and shoot. So yeah, that's my camera bag. That's what I carry on a normal basis. It's what I use to shoot weddings and street photography and just simple portrait sessions. Maybe it inspired you to adjust your camera bag. Maybe it kind of helps you know what to buy. Everything I use is kind of outdated. I've pretty much got everything thrifted or used, so this year I definitely will be upgrading things. For this year I want to upgrade some things, so I'm going to get a new full frame camera. There is a rip in my bag, so I would like to get a new camera bag eventually, but for the meantime this still does a-okay. But yeah, no, let me know what you think. That's it. That's all I have to say. That's my camera bag. Alright, first video of the week. The best. I'm done.